I felt support from Tennesseans and from I felt support from Tennesseans and from Chattanoogaans and from people all around the community.
A lieutenant remembers the day he says he'll never forget, July 16th. The news starts now.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6 in HD.
Lieutenant commander who fired shots at the Chattanooga terrorist on July 16th was recognized for his service at the Tennessee State Capitol.
Lieutenant Commander Tim White led the prayer at the Tennessee General Assembly yesterday and was overwhelmed by community support. He talks to Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kelly McCarthy about the honor and details about July 16th never released until now.
It's on the, there's some stuff that he's very humble, and there's also some stuff that just need the body of way. Yeah. I love.
Lieutenant Commander.
Having some problems with that video right now. Let's find out. I think we're going to go to it now. Here's Kelly.
Lieutenant Commander Tim White stood before the Tennessee General Assembly, ready to lead them all in prayer.
Thank you very much.
His introduction from Senator Todd Gardenhire.
His center was attacked by the jihadists who murdered 4 Marines and 1 sailor. As a little historical note, the first 3 bullets that went into the jihadists was from Commander White's gun.
The room went silent. As the words sank in, senators and representatives rose to their feet.
I felt support from Tennesseans and from Chattanoogaans and from people all around the community.
It was the first time we heard publicly that Lieutenant Commander White had shot the terrorist. White says he wasn't expecting Senator Gardenhire to make those remarks, but yes, they are true.
I'm thankful to still be alive and be able to share with others the courageous acts that happened on July 16th.
Lieutenant Commander White fired at the terrorist 6 times from inside his office at the Naval Reserve Center on Amnicola Highway. Moments later, police were there to take him down.
The information I was given was that some of my shots did hit him, but the fatally wounding shots came from the police.
Lieutenant Commander White says he gets his strength from prayer and faith and was able to share that with lawmakers.
Praise the Lord. Praise, O servants of the Lord.
A special prayer for the White family, one they'll always remember.
It was very humbling and just very encouraging. Very, very special moment.
We reached out to the FBI to try and get more details and to see if there are any other suspects in the area who could possibly face charges. The FBI said there would be no further comment, and it's still an ongoing investigation. In the studio, Kelly McCarthy, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Concerning that investigation, the Marines issued a 41-page report that pieced together a timeline of the attack at the Lee Highway recruiting facility. One Marine noticed a silver Mustang pull up around 11:15 along with 2 arms holding a weapon. The report reveals a Marine acted fast to shield his young daughter during the attacks. 10 minutes passed from the time of the first shot to the first call to 911. Sergeant DeMonte Chile was shot in the thigh but didn't realize that until police arrived. We'll keep you up to date on the FBI's investigation into the July 16th attack on our website, WRCBTV.com.
Investigators are looking into whether bones found in a suitcase may be those of a missing Chattanooga woman. Gwinnett County's medical examiner is checking out a tip from a relative of the woman who said that person knew the missing woman. Her bones were discovered by a worker along I-985 just outside Atlanta back in July. Police say the victim is believed to be in her 20s. They received the tip after releasing a possible sketch of the woman. She was wearing a black Miley Cyrus hoodie and black Victoria's Secret pants. Investigators estimate the woman died about 6 months before the body was found. 4 validated gang members were arrested last night, 3 of whom could be facing federal charges. Chattanooga police responded to Brainerd Road on a report of a possible shooting suspect. When officers arrived on the scene, they found James Jeter in possession of a loaded handgun and in possession of marijuana. After a search, police found 3 other validated gang members, Michael Jones, D'Artagnan Rollins, and Brandon Rakestraw. Officers say the arrest prevented potential violence last night.
The Hamilton County Board of Education met with search firm Coleman Liu and Associates today to discuss who will lead the district. The search firm says their first priority is to have what they call a listening tour by meeting with the community, then to use that information to create a job description unique to Hamilton County. They will then begin actively recruiting potential candidates, they say. As of now, there's only one candidate. That's Hamilton County Schools interim superintendent, Dr. Kirk Kelly. Search firm tells us how they handle internal candidates.
We will give the board our candid opinion how they stack up against the external candidates. But as an outside party, we don't think we should make the decision up or down on an internal candidate, whether we think they're the best candidate of the group or they're not the best candidate of the group.
That's Ken Carrick. The search firm says that it's very common to have an internal candidate, but it's ultimately up to the district to make the final decision once they present a list of top recruits.
The Board of Education will also discuss the Durham contract and whether Hamilton County can afford to do away with the bus service and hire its own bus drivers.
Durham's the company that provides buses to the county, and their bus driver was involved in that deadly Woodmore Elementary bus crash. The meeting started at 4 today. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Tanisha Cordell's been there gathering details. She joins us live. Tanisha, what have you learned?
Guys, a lot went on in tonight's meeting, and one of the top things of discussion, aside from the superintendent search, is the Durham contracts. Now, Tiffany Robinson, who is also a board member, is recommending the board actually create an RFP or request for proposal for busing contracts, and also to renew contracts for independent drivers by 4 years. Now, keep in mind, the district currently has 49 independent drivers on staff. Now, she's also recommending they up their routes to 3. Now, currently they are managing 1 route as of now, but Assistant Superintendent Lee McDade said if the board does send out a 2-year RFP, it will eliminate the 1-year deal they have with Durham. Now, the 2-year RFP would ask companies to provide them with the most flexible option, so that's something they are seeking. The RFP needs to go out soon and needs to be closed by March in order for to give the board enough time to make a decision, and they're sticking with that deadline by March to kind of come up with what they're going to do. Now, actually, next Thursday in their strategic planning session, they plan on voting on this RFP to decide what they're going to do, and those independent drivers will also be invited in that discussion as well. I have more on this report and update at 11 live in Hamilton County. Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Tanisha, thank you. The Board of Education launched a new process to hire principals as well. It includes 3 steps. The procedure comes after recent shakeup and administrative leaders in Hamilton County. Interim Superintendent Dr. Kirk Kelly announced in May that 16 Hamilton County schools will have new principals. Ooltewah High School is one of those. Robin Kopp now leads in place of Jim Jarvis, who was principal during the Ooltewah assault case. The new process will require principal candidates to create a short presentation about what makes a great school. The second round of interviews will include a writing sample and roundtable discussion, and the third step involves a site visit to shadow candidates in their current positions. Cindy.
An early morning house fire in Walker County has been ruled arson. This is what the home looked like on Dunwoody Road in Lafayette about 4:30. The Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner says the fire was set intentionally to the home that was unoccupied. Estimates on damages are at $20,000. If you have any information on who is responsible for the fire, there is a reward, a $10,000 reward. Call the Walker County Fire Department with information. We're learning new details tonight on a suspect who was shot a week after police say he was responsible for a shooting on Cummings Highway. Police found Joshua Aker inside a car parked at a Lee Highway gas station on Monday. After he was released from the hospital, he was booked into the Hamilton County Jail on an attempted first-degree murder charge. Police say Aker entered Dustin Clark's apartment, claimed Clark took his cell phone, and when Clark said he didn't have it, Aker shot him.
Police in Dalton say a patient entered a hospital with an airsoft gun and flashed a badge impersonating an officer. The incident report says Noah Nolan carried the gun into Hamilton Medical Center's radiology department where he was undergoing some procedures. A technician noticed the weapon in a holster and left the room to tell her supervisor. When Nolan was confronted, he said he had clearance to keep the gun and he flashed a badge, according to authorities. He was arrested and is being held in the Whitfield County Jail on a $2,500 bond. Chattanooga police say convicted sex offender walked into Waffle House, exposed himself, and then things became violent. It happened at the Waffle House on Highway 58 yesterday morning. Servers told police they were cleaning tables when they came across 49-year-old Scott Conover fondling himself. When he was asked to leave, servers say he became violent, began throwing things. Conover was arrested and charged with indecent exposure. Two men are trying to put a gun range in Sale Creek.
That is unreasonable. There are other places that are more responsible that this range could be placed in.
Residents are upset about it. We'll fill you in on the proposal and tell you why the controversy is going on. A proposed gun range about 5 miles off US 27 near Bakewell Mountain is getting strong opposition from those who live in the area.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Herron spent the day in the area to see where it would go and why neighbors are not welcome to the idea.
Some living here in the Bakewell community believe if a gun range is built feet away from their homes, it would put a target on their quality of life.
What's the next line?
Scott Phillips and his wife built their dream home on Bakewell Mountain 2 years ago. It has everything they need, whether it's work or play. But the life this couple built for their 4 children may soon change if developers are given the green light to build a $2.4 million gun range across the street.
When I heard them doing the sound tests, it became a reality for me. And all of a sudden I realized what we were up against and how immensely it would affect my family and our life here.
As a hunter himself, Phillips is no stranger to guns, but he believes a 184-acre outdoor gun range so close to home could pose a danger. Other property owners echoed those concerns during Wednesday's Hamilton County Commission meeting. Developers say the range could have a positive impact on local economy.
We've had a lot of contact around the nation for holding national events here, things like that. So it's not just a Hamilton County thing, it's an area thing and a potentially national thing.
It's not growth residents fear on Retro Hughes Road. The area is known for hiking and hunting and will soon be home to a landing strip for local pilots. The families who live here say they welcome visitors, just not a gun range. Hamilton County commissioners will take up the issue next week, and we'll be sure to let you know what happens. Reporting in Hamilton County, I'm Michelle Herron, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, near 70 in some parts of the Channel 3 viewing area today.
Hard to believe. The temperatures will stay warm, we're told, for a while. Paul Barris will tell us how long and tell us what's next. Paul?
Well, our drought situation has gotten just a little bit better, not much. The moderate drought continues over the Cumberland Plateau. And then a little bit in between the extreme drought and the moderate drought is a little bit of a severe drought. So most of us are in a severe to extreme drought. That's a lot better than exceptional, which is the worst level of drought. But we're still in pretty much a pretty bad drought. We could use a lot more rain. It's going to take a long time to break this down. It's not going to happen overnight. You don't want it to break down overnight, because if that happens, then you got flooding problems all over the place. What we got right now are some showers off to the north of us, mainly north of Nashville, and they're really going to stall out. They'll drop a little further to the south, but not much further to the south. And I don't think the bulk of this rain is going to hit us. I think it'll stay off to the north. And again, off to the north, there's just not that much happening. This rain continues all the way into New England, right along this elongated little frontal system that is going to fade out, but stall out too across the valley. We're going to be in the warm sector for the next 7 days. Light southerly winds, temperatures mid to upper 60s, 65 Athens, Cleveland, 68 in Dalton, 66 in the city, and in the mid-50s out near Murphy, 64 Fort Payne. 67, 58 the high and the low for today. That's remarkable. The normal high is 50. So we weren't even close. We're 8 degrees above what the normal high is for a low. All right, and we've only had a couple hundredths of an inch of rain today. 70 in Dalton, that's 20 degrees above normal. 70 in Calhoun, 70 in Chatsworth, 69 Lafayette and Trenton. And we had 66 Lakeside and Soddy Daisy, 63 Red Bank, 65 in East Ridge. Ringgold was 64, while Cleveland hit 65. Murphy at 63, Dayton at 64, Athens at 65. Spring City was 66, and Colmont was about 62 with Jasper at 66. So we had some really nice warm temperatures. It's a little frontal system stalling out, maybe a sprinkle here and there, but not much rain at all. We're going to pull back on the Vipercast here in a second and show you where the freezing rainstorm is going to be. This is going to be a huge story coming up into the Great Plains. If you watch national news, you're going to see this covered well, I'm sure, because the people are going absolutely nowhere from North Oklahoma City through Wichita up to Kansas City and all the way into St. Louis as this ice storm starts to spread off to the north all the way into the Midwest. We're in the warm sector of the storm, so the southerly flow continues and the chance for any rain is slim, while they get a half an inch to an inch of ice at least, if not more, in some places into the Great Plains. So it's going to be a big, big mess out there. We're only going to see maybe 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain coming up over the next 4 days. Pinpoint forecast has Pikeville tomorrow, mainly cloudy, 66. You may have a sprinkle too. And then Red Bank should be about 67 for that high. Tonight though, 57, sprinkle or two possible, light winds. 67 tomorrow, maybe a shower, about a 20% chance. Most of us won't see much at all. 53 tomorrow night, again, sprinkles possible. Lots of clouds, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Saturday, again, a small chance with 69, 68 Sunday, 68 Monday. So when you get that close to 70, it's not impossible that, especially if the sun comes out, we could be in the low to mid 70s. In fact, the sun's got to come out for a while. It doesn't look like it'll stay out for very long. Best chance for rain next Wednesday and Thursday. Some showers and storms. Some could be heavy. We'll have to watch a possibility of severe weather by then.
I could use a dose of sunshine. It's been kind of gloomy for a
It has
couple
been
of days
gloomy.
now.
It's been warm but gloomy. Would you rather if it's sunny and cold or cloudy and gloomy?
Gosh, that's a tough choice.
Yeah, I know.
It's one or the other, though,
You
isn't
can't
it?
have everything.
I
know.
Words of wisdom from one Paul Bears.
It's reality, right? Coming up next, we're putting a bow on last night's UTC basketball win against the Citadel.
The Mocs are climbing right up the Southern Conference standings.
Yeah, only ETSU, isn't it fitting, is ahead right now by just one game. We're going to break all that down with the standings. We'll also talk to the Vols, who dropped a third straight league game. Rick Barnes, once again, not pulling punches, but this time using a bit of sarcasm. The Citadel did its best to make any and everything awkward for Chattanooga last night. At times it worked. For example, Mocs big man Justin Toyle limited to just 2 first-half points. That said, Toyle remained consistent, at least on defense. 4 blocks, 13 rebounds, and then a flurry of late points to help put it on ice.
I think he had 2 points with maybe 7 minutes to go, 8 minutes to go, and his presence is definitely felt on the backboard. No question about it. He goes for 13, 4 blocks. He was terrific down the stretch. And, again, it's been all about his approach and, just such a professional approach every single day, and just been very, very proud of him for that.
The Mocs finished this 3-game homestand 3-0. They now hit the road for one more game at Mercer this Saturday. And then they're back home for 2 more, starting on the 21st. Quick glance at those Southern Conference standings. Look at the top. No surprise, ETSU, Chattanooga, 1 and 2. UNCG is 3rd. The Spartans and ETSU will play tonight. The Mocs and East Tennessee meet in Johnson City on January 28th. The second and final meeting of the regular season between the two in Chattanooga on February 18th. The Tennessee men were held to a season-low 60 points in a loss to South Carolina last night. It was the 3rd straight conference loss, dropping the Vols to now 1 and 3 in league play. It took Rick Barnes 9 words to sum this one up.
That was really a thing of beauty, wasn't it?
If your idea of beauty is shooting a woeful 32% from the floor and hitting an even worse 1 out of 11 3-pointers, sure, it was beautiful. Appreciate the sarcasm, though. Always love to see that. It was Tennessee's first game without guard Dietrich Mostella, who was dismissed from the team on Tuesday. Coming up at 11, there are opposing views from both the head coach and the team if Mostella would have even helped the Vols against South Carolina. On the women's side, the Lady Vols recently had their run of 6 straight wins snapped by 4th-ranked Mississippi State. Nestled in between that top 10 matchup and next week's top 10 against Notre Dame is Ole Miss tonight. While Ole Miss is not the caliber of 4th-ranked Mississippi State, they are very similar. That starts with the Rebels' dribble drive offense. It worked for State against Tennessee. No doubt they'll see it again tonight in Oxford. Tip at 7. We'll wrap it up at 11. SEC football news now. Auburn offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley is bolting the Plains for the same position at UConn under new head coach Randy Edsall. Lashley had been at Auburn under Malzahn for 4 seasons. Some big-time NFL news now. Well, I'm being told we don't have time, so let's sum it up. That didn't mean go to black. San Diego Chargers are no more. They're moving to L.A. more at 11.
Yeah, that was a shocker. Okay, Paul, what about tonight?
All right, your evening out. We got the temperatures that will be dropping down only to about 60, 61 degrees by midnight. 57 to 61, and maybe a sprinkle. Very mild when you wake up in the morning. We got some pretty fine weather coming up here, so that's 7 days. As far as the temperatures go, it's going to be really, really warm coming up. Looks like now right into next week, maybe some showers and storms next Wednesday or Thursday. Otherwise, enjoy the spring-like weather.
No sunshine for you.
Very little.
No.
All right.
Keep hoping.
Yeah, we do. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 6.
We'll see you back here at 11. Have a good night.